come show the fans the kitchen," Whisper yelled Raymond. "Coming," I yelled. I quickly ran over to him, the camera in my hand, not recording anymore. I zoomed past the counter and walked inside of the kitchen. It resembled what any restaurant kitchen would look like. Stoves, shelves, pots, pans, cutting boards, cabinets, the whole package, pretty much. The floor composed of plain white tiles, no sign of a rug anywhere. The walls were painted a rich tan color. I could see a door towards the back that supposedly led backstage, and as I lifted my camera, I began to record again. "So this is where they make the food," I said, as I walked around through the kitchen. I moved the camera left to right, showcasing to the audience all the features of the room. I lifted the camera up to face Raymond, who was lifting a pot and pretending to cook. "Bro, look, Raymond's Tacos. 10 out of 10 from food critics everywhere," he said with slight laughter in his voice. "Best restaurant, if all time," said Steven in a sarcastic yet friendly tone of voice. I looked on one of the counters and found a recipe book. It had a laminated cover, with the cover itself being red on the left and showing pictures of various food items on the right. In the middle of the red area, it said, "Fraser's Fine Guide to Cooking," in yellow text, surrounded by 2 yellow circles. A picture of Fraser could be seen in the bottom left corner. I looked up and faced Raymond and Steven. Not much really in here. Want to go to the arcade?" I asked. They both obliged. One by one, we all exited the kitchen. We walked past the counter. Raymond was in the front and was the first to notice. No, he said in a panicked, worrying voice. "Okay, we're leaving, now." I quickly started recording as I darted over and glanced at the stage. Sammy was missing. "The fuck? What? Where's the snake?" said Steven. Let's just, go and not worry about it." We all darted for the door. However, Raymond had stopped us. "Wait!" he said again. "My phone's still in the kitchen." "Well, get it as quick as you can," said Steven. We waited for him to come back. However, all we heard was his screams. And then what sounded like him falling to the floor. Steven and I ran inside, only to find Sammy constricting Raymond of air. The snake's eyes and the diamonds on his back pattern glowed a very bright lime green color. They were about 3/4 as bright as an actual flashlight, and this led the room to being illuminated in green. We had no idea why. I mean, how could these innocent animatronics have the ability to kill? How to know where they would need to go to kill someone? How would they do it? And why would they anyway? We both screamed, "Hold on!" Steven kicked at Sammy and tried to pull him off of Raymond by yanking on his head, but it was no use. I hopped over Raymond, who was helplessly lying on the floor, gasping for breath. I set the camera on the counter, still recording, and grabbed the cookbook that I saw less than 5 minutes ago. Giving it all my might, I threw it at Sammy. No use. I tried tossing a pot at him. No use. And thinking as fast as I could, I ran past a few shelves and looked through the drawers. After opening 7 or so, I found a large butcher knife. I turned around and ran back at a speed faster than I could even think to normally run. I dove down to Sammy. I grabbed the knife and located one of the many, many creases that were part of him. Sammy was made up of small cylinders. What this did was it allowed him to move anywhere, in any direction, while still having him be made out of plastic. I cut down in between with as much force as I could. I dug my way down into the wires, which actually did take a few seconds. I then grabbed tight of the animatronic and sawed open the wires with ease. Sammy let loose of his grip, his eyes still glowing, but the diamond shapes empty of light. Raymond's gasp for breath was very heavy. He threw the broken snake off himself and at a wall. He quickly darted up, ran over, and hugged me. I didn't actually think it was weird. I had just saved his life that he nearly lost. Thank you, he said, gasping for air. My back hurts. I don't like it, he said. Don't worry, dude. We're getting out. We're getting out of here, I reassured him. I grabbed the camera. Jesus, thank God you're okay, said Steven as he grabbed Raymond's phone. I patted him on the back, helping him stand up, and we slowly walked out. Once again, we headed for the door. I still had to help Raymond as he was still gasping for air. I guided him over to the door, and I looked through the window, only to see a few joggers running outside. In other words, we had to stay until they passed by. We sat behind the door for about a minute or so, until I peeked my head up to check and see if they were still there. They were, inconveniently, might I add. They were taking a break and drinking some water. This is KFC all over again, said Steven. I slouched back down inside. I heard what sounded like an animatronic moving one of their body parts on stage. The noise of an animatronic lifting up its foot could be heard, along with a footstep. No, said Raymond. I looked up at the window. They were still there. I slouched back down. They're still there, stating in a voice that sounded like I was about to cry. I remember where the back door is, said Steven. Where? Asked Raymond. We have to go to the backstage area, then go through the door that's there. Okay, thank God, I said, still with a crying tone. Let's just walk slowly inside, though, said Steven. We started to walk, until I realized that Maury was near the arcade. His hands were crossed behind his back. Fraser then moved. As he got off the stage, he made slow steps towards the opposite side of Maury. As we watched without moving, we saw him stand in the corner of the restaurant that was about 30 feet away from Maury. For a few seconds, we stood still. I need to get this, I said. I walked over to the two, one by one as Raymond and Steven followed. For some reason, what we saw was strange, but fascinating. They stood as if they were waiting for someone. I got out the camera, still recording, and showed them to the audience. For some reason, I had the guts to walk up to them. They both had a blank stare. They were still, their eyes dimly lit. Fraser's was purple. Maury's was orange. I awed at how mysterious it was. And after a bit of recording, I decided that we could just go. I didn't want to put up with the place anymore. We started to head to the kitchen, sprinting slightly. Can't wait to go.